Pastor Jerone TV. I'm your host, Pastor Jerone Davidson, and I want to talk about why is the black church failing. There's a story out of North Carolina about a Reverend Dr. William Barber, and he's the president of the NAACP, and he is trying to boycott North Carolina for not supporting transgender bathrooms. And this is why I'm on the point that I'm on, because why is the black church failing? Because it's always on the other side of the issue of the Bible. It never sides. I can't say it never sides, but more and more the churches are siding against the Bible and not siding with it. And this dude, William Barber, he's a heavy-set guy, and he looks like he's, as the old folks say, look like he's got sugar in his tank. And I never met the guy. I don't know him. But just from looking at him, he just looked like a sugar cube short of a whole box of sugar. And these are the reasons why the black church is failing the community, because of sexual perversion. And if many of the pastors today aren't gay, they're sexing the women in the congregation and having babies out of wedlock and just keeping up a whole bunch of foolery, instead of preaching the Bible and living the Bible, and be an example of the people who are coming to the church, the parishioners, who are trusting the God in you, the supposed God in you, to preach the gospel and to live the gospel and to lead the way to God. These people are stopping you from getting to heaven. Some people say, well, I don't care what my pastor do. I'm just going for the word because I'm going to heaven anyway. But listen to what Jesus said. Jesus said to the Pharisees, he says, you hypocrites, he says, you won't enter into the gates of heaven. You close the gates and you prevent others from entering in. So your pastors and false leaders can block you from getting into heaven because they pour on you false doctrine. Now, none of us want our daughters in the restroom with a man who's confused about his sexuality. That's a mental illness. And I hate that these people are comparing transgenderism, homosexuality, to our ethnicity as black people. People with mental illnesses like Bruce Jenner and all these people are talking about transgenders and all this stuff. This stuff is not, it has nothing to do with African Americans. Y'all let them ride on our backs, ride on our pain, ride on our years of being discriminated against and slavery and all of that. They didn't have to go through any of that, but you all let them hitch their tail to our wagon, and now they have same-sex marriage approval. But then when we were getting shot in the streets by bad cops, not all cops are bad, but we were getting killed in the streets. When that boy got killed in Minnesota on video, and there was riots and people were protesting, did you see the LGBT and all them confused people out there protesting with the blacks? But we're quick to go out and protest with these immigrants and all these different things. These immigrants aren't protesting with us. They're not hitching themselves to our situation. Only when they want to push an agenda through will they try and say that they are just like the African Americans. So the black church is failing the people. Morally, they're failing the people. And what pastor, what preacher, what man of God would want to see young girls in the same restroom with boys, or boys going into girls' restrooms, or men going into, this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to push this. Pedophilia is coming after us, y'all. When we all were silent, when they were pushing Prop 8, when the church didn't say anything, when our bishops didn't say anything, when our pastors were not crying out against this stuff, and they pushed this Prop 8 through, I knew it wasn't going to be long before they start teaching our kids these things in school. And then now, the real thing that they really want to happen is pedophilia to come forth, because those pedophiles need some kids to get to, and giving them access through the restrooms is a simple way. And if you're going to a church and your pastor is not living the gospel, he's failing, or she's failing. We've got to stop letting these people mislead us, misguide us, and let us down. Time after time, and pastor after pastor, after they rise to influence and fame, then they let you down with some type of scandal. a scandal this and a scandal about sex and a scandal about being gay and a scandal about money. It's the same stuff over and over and over, and it's continuing to fail. And this is one of the reasons why the black church is failing. This is part one. I'll carry on part two tomorrow. But we've got to start putting greater demands on our leaders, our spiritual leaders, to be biblical examples and stop all this stuff about touch not my anointing. We're not touching, we're talking. And then y'all come around talking about he that without sin cast the first stone. I'm not casting stones, I'm using words. Stones in the Bible times was to kill. Words are to reveal. You guys stop covering up for sin, and let's help push forth the fact that the Spirit of God gives us power and strength. And stop talking about and stop glorifying the weakness of the flesh. I'm Pastor Jerone. Share the video. God bless.